Do you want to know the best early game spots in the game? You are in the right place. Following these methods will let you earn tons of XP and reach level 23 fast, or gain a decent amount of AP to level up your Materias and have access to better magic spells very early in the game. Let me start this guide with a word of advice. Grinding is only advisable at the end game because you will have access to 5 AP up Materias and you will have 7 characters that can equip more Materias, so your AP gains will be exponentially greater. Plus, you can get the Chocobo armband in chapter 11, which can give triple AP gains for its equipped Materia. But the main reason is, completing the game once will double your XP gains and triple your AP gains. But I understand that majority of you loves to grind early, so I made this guide. Starting with the first method, which is the Quet's boss farming. This method will require the user to spam the classified intel Wing of Lacertilian of Yore, where you will be fighting the secret boss Quetzalcoatl. Maybe you are wondering how can you kill a boss over and over, but no worries about that, it is easy to do. You can unlock hidden quests naturally if you are unlocking all of the points of interest in a certain region. But for the secret boss to appear, unlock 4 life springs or expedition intels in the grassland region. Before heading to the location of the boss, here's the farming build first. Equip Cloud with a sleek saber, which you can easily buy in Calm, or if you want to save cash, get this sword from a chest in the abandoned dock, which is part of the main story and you can't miss it. You will want this sword for your general progress and awesome skill that it has, and for the additional stats it provides. I have also shared this in my ultimate beginner guide that you can check on the card here or by checking the description section below. I've shared 23 in tactical and helpful tips for anyone who wants to have the perfect start in this game. Equip the highest bangle you have and slot in the higher power wrist guard that you can get from item transmutation. If your item transmutation is still at low level, just wear the normal power wrist guard and you will be fine. But the main materia for this method to work is the ice materia, which you already have as a starter materia, but you can also buy duplicates in your grasslands vending machines. Get the fire and ice materia from Chadley and buy another ice materia from the vending machine. Equip any stat boosting materia that you have for the other slots like the Titan summon materia, but it's just here mainly for stats. Slot in the ATP charge rate up to enjoy a 10% ATP faster charge rate up. In Cloud's combat settings, make sure to slot in Blizzard spell to any shortcut you desire since you will be using this magic a lot. Make sure you slot in Focus Thrust as well in your shortcut just in case you want to stagger the boss quicker later on. And Braver is the main damage dealing ability in this setup. I am using Tifa as the second member, equipped with the Sylph gloves which can be obtained in Mithril mines from a chest. If you don't have this, just use the leather gloves. Again, equip the best bangle you have and magical earrings for the accessory slot which you can get from item transmutation as well. If you are using Aerith, this accessory is pretty much better off with her. Tifa is using the fire and ice materia that I mentioned, and just like Cloud, equip Tifa with any stat boosting materia that you have like HP up materia and the like. Tifa is also using ATB charge rate up for the weapon upgrades, and the summoning materia that you are seeing here is Shiva, just in case you want to summon her for extra firepower later on. Don't forget to slot in Blizzard spell on your shortcuts for Tifa, and slot in Unbridled Strength for additional DPS and Dive Kick for the damaging ability. Aerith is a third member in this lineup and will be equipping the Timeless Rod that you can easily get in Bill's Ranch beside the ranch's shop. As usual, equip the highest bangle that you have. I am equipping Whistlewind Scarf for the accessory slot here, but it's not required at all. Wear earrings or magical earrings instead. Equip Ice Materia and stat boosting materias that you have. Slot in Altruistic Recovery to increase Aerith's healing potency by 10% just in case you will need healing later on. Summoning materia for Aerith is not important in this method, so skip it. Just like Tifa and Cloud, make sure to slot in Blizzard in Aerith's shortcuts. Slotting Arcane Ward is optional as well, just in case you want to double cast your Blizzard spells later on. Lastly, set the difficulty on easy mode in the game setting and you are good to go. Remember to set the difficulty on easy as always if you are farming at early game. The boss may look intimidating, but because the difficulty was set on easy, this encounter will be a cakewalk, especially with the farming build that we do have. The strategy is pretty simple. Cloud will start the fight and gain ATB charges by performing normal attacks. Cast a Blizzard or Blizzara spell if you have it when Cloud gains an ATB charge. watch Aerith's and Tifa's ATB gauge, and if they are about to gain an ATB charge, switch to either of them and cast Blizzard spells as well. Rotate across your party members by spamming the same strategy, and eventually the boss will be pressured and staggered. If the boss was staggered, you can deal a bulk of the damage by either using Cloud's Braver or Tifa's dive kick during this phase. The boss will recover from being staggered, and when this happens, just repeat the Blizzard spam strategy. A couple of tips here that can improve your runs. You can squeeze in Shiva if you need more ice attacks. Shiva's final attack will deal great damage to Quetz because this boss is weak to ice, just in case you haven't noticed by now. Don't forget to cast your synergy abilities as well if it's available to increase your damage potential and end the run faster. You're seeing that I'm casting my Blizzard spell here manually for you to see clearly, but you are better off using the shortcuts for the faster clear time. Eventually the boss will die, and if it did, head to the nearest chocobo stop, and this will restore your HP and MP. And when you're ready, return to the farming spot to re-challenge the boss, rinse and repeat. Now I do not have a specific hourly XP gain computation for this method as clear times vary, but on each run you will be getting a whopping 1000 to 1200 plus XP. This is enough to skyrocket your levels if you do this in level 17 and up, and it is completely doable. I got lower XP gains in my runs since I am already level 23. You will be hitting level 25 in no time if you follow this method, but by the time you reach level 25, you will be getting 150 XP per run, so I suggest moving on to the next spot if you reach this level. Another pro tip as well is XP in this game is not hard to grind, especially if you are grinding at endgame spots. You will be reaching the level 70 cap in a short amount of time, but let me tell you that the real grind starts when maxing out your Materias, so I see AP as more valuable than XP in the long run. So if you need AP, especially at the early game, the next spot is the one you need. If you are getting value out of this video so far, consider subscribing to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Thank you for your support. The next method farms enemies in Chadley's grassland region Intel 1 combat simulator over and over with a little amount of effort. This is one of the staple ways of farming AP early on. Cloud will be the main damage dealer in this method, and he will be using Sleek Saber still. Equip the highest bangle that you have for more Materia slots. Slot in the Whistlewind Scarf again for the accessory, and you can obtain this after completing the Where the Wind Blows odd job in Calm. Broden is the quest giver of this quest. Slot in ATP charge rate up as the weapon upgrades for the 10% ATP recharge rate it provides. Equip the AP up materia and make sure it's linked to a materia. You can get this materia in the Mithril Mines, and I am showing the location on the screen right now. Slot in first strike materia for this run so Cloud can have at least one ATB charge when the battle starts. Get the first strike materia as a reward for completing Grasslands Battle Intel Horror on the range. I'm also equipping the Titan Summon materia just for the extra stats, but it's not big of a deal. Make sure to slot in triple slash in your shortcuts since you will be using this ability a lot in this method. For the other party members, you just need to make sure that they are equipping all of the best gear you have to slot in as many Materias as possible, and you are good to go. The good thing about this method is its simplicity in terms of strategy. As soon as the battle starts, cast triple slash to sweep the enemy and end the fight. You will be doing the same strategy in the next fight up to round 5, and that's it. Rinse and repeat. If there's any enemy that survive after the triple slash, clean them up with normal attacks or use another triple slash. Level check, I suggest doing this between level 21 and 23, so if you're going to do this method when you are around level 17 or so, there's a chance that you will not be able to one-shot the mobs and slow the process down. But if it doesn't bother you, you can still use this method to gain AP. But if you spend time doing method 1 in this guide, reaching level 23 is just few fights is pretty easy. Each run lasts around 2 minutes and 10 seconds, loading times included, and nets you 218 XP and 448 AP per run, given you have the same amount of materials that I have across all party members. So if you do this in an hour consistently, you are looking at almost 6k XP and 12k AP per hour. And that's a lot for just someone who started a game, compared to your gains when fighting normal monsters in the field. Another possible spots is in Junon Intel 1 Combat Simulator. However, I will not be recommending this one since in your current state, you can quickly sweep enemies in this simulator, even at level 25. Just in case you are curious about the results, especially the early gains, I still did the math and came up with the results. You'll be getting 6.2k XP and 9.4k after an hour of consistent farming. Even though I developed ways to quicken the runs, my faster clear time was around 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It is 30 to 40 seconds longer compared to the previous spot and provides the same same amount of AP per hour. As mentioned, AP is more valuable when leveling your Materias, and some Materias requires a lot of AP to level up compared to XP. Therefore, this spot is not ideal at all, and the Grassland Intel Simulator is by far the best spot at super early game. All of these spots can surely give you the boost you need, especially if you want the fastest AP gains possible to have access to better spells. But if you want to have the perfect start possible in this game, or know the best early Materias you should have, click on these videos and I will catch you on the next one.